see, a nice path to do this. The Drintec brakes look amazing, and I've got a little update from yesterday. I had to do an emergency brake earlier, and I locked up the rear with great ease. Quite reassuring. So yeah, I'm quite happy with how that's worked out. You can see an oil slick still. But yeah, the tyres are great as well. They really do work. I think they're going to be better tubeless. I'm not looking forward to doing that, but I am going to do that for my tubeless business. The cassette started making a bit of noise. Who knows? The bars are just amazing. So much more comfortable than on the track. So I'm quite happy at the decision to put drop bars on the track. And this is the hill that I have been up on the track, and when I'm fit I'll be able to do quite easily. I'm not going to do that now. So yeah, this, I don't know whether to put red vinyl on the black parts or black vinyl on the red parts. It's kind of a nice, I like the red. I like this bar tape as well. I had it with a Physique gel pad, or either a Pro Shimano gel pad underneath, which I'll show you when I do the various bikes. I put it on all my bikes. I love this section. So yeah, the rotors have started clicking a bit under full power, if you can pick it up now. I put a battery in this morning, so I'm getting the power to be able to see from my Garmin there. I love the view of the bike from the front. Probably not the view of me behind it so much. What else? The black chain. I'm going to start selling these black chains pre-waxed. So I'm going to start selling these black chains pre-waxed, along with the gold chains and some other accessories. Whoa! The tubeless. And the only other thing really is to stop and see if there's anything I missed. I don't think there is. So yeah, the tyres. Let's give you a tour of the tyres. Don't know how this is going to work, but I think it'd be quite good on camera. Let me come down like that and give you the tour of the tyres. Does that work? Who knows? These pedals, they're good, but I don't clip into them as quickly as I do the trail ones, and I'll get into that and I think why it is in another video. The force is just impeccable, and these, I mean, God, these SRAM Red first gen, they're just some of the most beautiful shifters I've ever used. I've got some bling caps to go on there to tart this up. 3D is great. That hole, don't know whether to cover it up or not. I may make some 3D printed bits to go in. But yeah, the cassette, amazing. But yeah, generally the bike is just very nice. Sadly, you can still see the slick there, not as prominent as the other day in the sun. But here they are drinking. So this is less than 100 yards, actually no, 200 yards, 300 yards. from where the deer are at the moment. Yeah, I never thought that I would have this nature reserves beck, which through there is kind of a special nature reserve. As you can see, it's cornered off so people don't pollute it. I never thought it'd be full of an oil slick that matched pretty much the oil slick finish on my saddle and bar tape. But I suppose this is good enough place as any to do my wrap up of first ride on this Diverge. I've got another Diverge, so if you want to see the newer 2021-ish or 2022 Diverge, then click here. I'll put a link in at some point, maybe not immediately, but I will do at some point. As you can see, this has got the old design, which is kind of okay. But I love this cherry red paintwork. I've got some vinyl to wrap this and get rid of the black. If not, I might just make the whole fork black and just use it to get rid of that. But yeah, I think it'll just look a bit better. The spec on this is pretty good. I've got I'll flip this around in a second so you can see the other side. But I've got the 3-in-1 rotor power meter, which is important for another project I'm doing. I'm comparing the upgrades of this bike and how they fare. I've put some lovely Panaracer. I left the Panaracer Gravel King SK Plus. I didn't make them tubeless because I've read enough to know that on these wheels tubeless is a pain in the ass. So before we flip it around, yeah, so I've left it with tubes, so it's not going to be a fully fair comparison, but the next is going to have the Hunt wheels on, and then we'll put the proper carbon wheels on. But yeah, these Drintex are pretty good actually. That rear one isn't great, and I don't know whether it's just I didn't bed it in properly or I just need to tighten the cable. The front is super sharp, which again presents its problems, as you can imagine. They're obviously a lot better than the tyres that come with any of these generation. The only thing that's really stock on this is the seat post, the wheels and the frame obviously. So yeah, the saddle's a bit lower than I'd want to because it's been on this has been 2 years now on the Swift. The bottom bracket, the BB30, was it BSA 30, sorry, bottom bracket is absolutely lovely, spot on. It's been sweated on by everyone in the family for 2 years on the Zwift, and it is fantastic. I'll try and put a comment below as to how many kilometers we've all done, but yeah, I mean it's probably quite a lot. So how does this compare, before I switch this round to the other side so you can see some of the other details, how does it compare to the newer one? Well, it's interesting. When I got on the new Diverge just a few months ago, which I'll put a link in the videos here, I didn't really notice any difference whatsoever. When you get back onto this old one, you really notice it is a bit more old school. Some of it I like, some of it not so much. So that bottom bracket, I mean, this is even a 165, I think, no, 170 millimeter crank. The braking with these Drintex brakes is night and day compared with the standard cables. Not quite, I'd say the front is as good. It feels as good as the as hydraulics, as you know. And I don't know whether that's just because of obviously the shorter cable run, because in my experience cable discs on mountain bikes are very good, and I think there's a combination there of the leverage and maybe not so complex cable runs that we now see on the internal cabling road bikes, or I don't know, let me know what you think in the comments. But the rear is just not quite as sharp. Now it obviously doesn't necessarily mean that it's just because it's going a longer distance. It could be many different things, like I didn't wear the discs in properly. These are I think the standard, I can't remember if these are the ones that come with the Drintex or not. I can't honestly believe that I bothered changing them. But yeah, so there's the lovely Garbruk 11 to 42 stainless steel CNC with aluminium biggest cog cassette, which I'll show you a bit more of when we spin this round. So yeah, coming back to the bottom bracket is noticeably lower. The chainstay, that rear triangle, is noticeably shorter, which I really like. The bottom bracket being lower, it's, as you know, it's a mixed bag. Obviously here, in the Richmond Park, it's just a benefit. In general, I'd probably go with the higher bottom bracket. I think it's a good thing. The longer wheelbase, I mean, to me, where a wheelbase is important is here in the rear triangle. I'm not really bothered at the front that much. I'm not that bothered. Really, I can work around any kind of head tube angle. But yeah, this is a lot more playful. I think ultimately in a straight line, the newer geometry is faster. In an A to B in general, it's a difficult one, but we'll have to compare and see by the numbers. So yeah, let's turn this around. I do like, honestly, I've been riding the Trek Stash with this saddle that obviously is a bit more worn, but it's just lovely. What is really nice, obviously, is these bars, having carbon bars and with a slight profile here rather than just pure round. Makes such a difference in comfort. The quick thing before I turn it around actually is the pedals. So I've put these XT trail pedals. You'll notice on some of my other bikes I have the ones that have dual-sided, and I'm going to do something on those very soon. So yeah, as you can see, well, let's get I like the crank in that position. Some of the purists will hate the fact that I don't have my valves pointed either upwards or downwards. But yeah, Force 1. So this is the Force 1 with the long cage. So it'll take up to 42. I was going to put ratio. Wow. I was going to put the ratio set on the Trek Stash, but I think it's going to go on here because I knew it was compatible with the red 10-speed. That old red 10-speed is just absolutely lovely still. You can see my daughter with her first clipless outing managed to do that. But so yeah, this I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you a few ways of cutting this. There are the Borman ways of doing it, which I will share with you. The oval chainring, absolute black and absolutely lovely. And yeah, I mean this bike really goes very well. Especially I've been riding the Trek Stash, which obviously has its benefits in terms of speed when you're going downhill and on the rough stuff. But most of the stuff around here, this was completely forgotten what I was going to say. Yeah, so what I did notice on this is the wheels. The bog standard wheels aren't great. I do believe these Axis ones are the Axis Sport are older and not as good as the Axis Elite, which I have on the one. But I'm going to weigh those and you'll get to see. And we'll know for sure. But yes, so I was going to that's where I was. The ratio was going to go on the Trek Stash as I did a conversion, and then I was going to do and I'd bought some lower end. What are they? The 2 levels lower than this. It's not Force, it's either Rival or something like that. And then obviously the Rival AXS came out, and I thought, do I do that? It's all been settled. I've got a Surly corner bar. The corner bar is going on the existing brakes, so I'm going to do something on there with using all of the existing brakes that I've got. I've got some Avid Juicies, I've got some higher level Avid Codes, I've got some good old BB 7 cable discs. They're all going to go on the Stash. And the Rival is going to go on here. So yeah, I'm quite looking forward to that. It's going to be a bit difficult. The main reason I wanted 10-speed on here is that I upgraded my daughter's bike to 10-speed, and so we could all go on Zwift. But none of them have been on Zwift for ages now, and so it's time for me to just get on with my stuff. And yeah, there's a lovely little E5 label I hadn't noticed there before. And yeah, this frame's just really, really nice, and this colour scheme, obviously, with the dust isn't the best way to see it, but then that's the way you should be seeing it. So let's get on. There, you see? From this angle you can't see the pollution. Looks a lot better. I like this bike, I really do. Just shows you what you can do by upgrading a bog standard bike. It really is worth it, and it really is quite nice.